continuing our coverage of Free Comic Book Day 2013. We're currently here at Comic Town, and to my right is a man called Fate.
Go ahead, you can ask about the name.
How did the name, was the name bestowed upon you by a sage wizard, or?
Unfortunately, no, nothing that interesting. My father is from Appalachian, Kentucky. When he was growing up, it was a little bit more common down there, but I wish I had a more interesting, story behind it. I was born while my mom was skydiving, something like that. But no, it's just a pretty more common name down there. So, yeah.
Well, we're here because you have an amazing charity organization we would love to tell everybody about.
Well, I appreciate you asking about that. It's called Comic Book Connection Initiative. We started a few years ago, kind of by accident. My wife was looking at my comic book collection, which, like a lot of people, is kept growing and growing because you're not going to throw comic books out.
God, no, never.
No. So I, had all the back issues of the Valiant and the Justice League Task Force and et cetera, et cetera. And she finally said, you know what, it's time for you to sell these. I laughed. I sell them. I can't even give them away. My wife, being an 8th grade language arts teacher, said, oh yeah, we can find a way for you to give them away. And that's how it started. I would have my regular pool here at Comic Town, came in, they said, hey, why don't you take some of ours, back stock from the 90s and 2000s and stuff that just isn't selling. Next thing I know, I'm running a charity.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. What we do is we give comic books to kids in homeless shelters, food pantries, after-school programs, anywhere there's a need, hospitals, waiting rooms, wherever I can find. Given some to Goodwill. We've given some to the YWCA, and we've started back when we first started this. I just thought, okay, kids, but then I realized people wanted to get rid of their more mature reading. And by that I don't mean just
dirty.
Yeah, no, dirty, not just dirty, but more mature reading. And so we figured that the best way to do that and get that to people who would appreciate it is through the military. Our troops who serve overseas. We had a contact in one of the local VFWs. And so every Christmas, it's around Thanksgiving, but it's for Christmas, they put together care packages for the troops. And so we donate thousands of comics to them, and we actually raffle at shows like this to raise money for it, which, we just say, here's money, here's a ton of comic books. Sometimes we help them pack, sometimes we don't. The charity, if I could...
please.
It's mainly 3 items is what we focused on when we started the charity. The first is when we give these comic books to kids, they get a sense of ownership. Unfortunately, these kids don't have
this
a lot in their
mine.
lives. Yeah, and this is their comic book to do with as they want. I don't know about you, but I traced a lot of the pages and I colored a lot of the pages, and I saw those pages go, oh, I think Norm Brayfogel's Batman would look better on my wall. But they own it, and that's what they can do with it. Second, it's escapism, pure and simple. As adults, our lives get stressed. What do? Turn on the TV. We go out. We get away from our surroundings.
Right.
These kids, they really can't. They don't have a lot of options available to them. So going in the pages of a comic book, hey, next thing you know, you're swinging from the streets of Gotham or New York City if you're a Marvel fan. You're reading about some guy named Doctor Who that wears a fez. I don't know why you would, but... or any number of different stories. And so these kids get an escapism in their day, and they're able to do that. And the third pillar we really built this on is influence. Growing up, I had a very great family. They helped me and taught me a lot. Not everybody has that.
Right.
And so they get influences from all over, and hopefully in these comics they find a positive influence. If you're a munitions seller and your heart gets damaged from an explosion and you just build an arc reactor and stop making munitions and
Yeah.
try to make the world a better place to live.
Lace up your bootstraps and just keep going.
Exactly, And so hopefully they'll find something that connects with them and they want to be part of.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the three pillars we mainly base it on. But to be quite honest, it's selfishness. It's totally 100% selfishness because I want the hobby that I grew up with and love so much, and still to this day, love so much, to still be around in 20 years, in 40 years, where, our children and our grandchildren are able to come into a great store like Comic Town or some of the others in the Columbus area and enjoy this and come in and pick up a comic book and sit down and read it. And it doesn't compete with television. It doesn't compete with video games. It's an interactive way to enjoy it.
It's tactile. They they feel it, they see it. It's like you said, it's there.
Even the digital copies. I don't prefer the digital copies because I like coming into the store, talking shop.
Same here.
I can't believe what they did to Spider-Man. What in the world are they thinking? Everybody does it. That's a fan. And the younger people that are coming up now, it's a good way for them to develop social skills and social groups. And there's nothing other than maybe content being more mature, like we spoke about, that I see negative in this.
No, not at all. Yes.
I've had donations come in from a number of different publishers. DC has sent us stuff. The IDW has sent us a bunch. Arcada. The list goes on. Blue Water. I mean, we could be here all day talking about the ones that sent us stuff. Dark Horse, I think, sent us some stuff. And then, of course, things to give away, temporary tattoos. And
we do not condone the issuing of tattoos to young children, unless it's a comic book character. Then
I went to go get this temporary tattoo, and it still hasn't come off. I keep washing it, but it's a fun hobby, and we who have been around them for so long see comic books as a medium, but they can be so much more than that. They can be something that they can escape to. They can use to, and of course, literacy is a component of that. My wife's an 8th grade language arts teacher. I'd better mention that. But underlying that, the three pillars, is really what we focus on for the youth. And then for our troops overseas, the number one thing I've heard from them and servicemen I've spoken to over the years, they're bored.
Oh God, yeah. I have friends that are currently stationed overseas, and every once in a while when I can, I send them a care package. And I send like the ramen noodles and stuff like that. But it's always something like I have thrown in a comic book, or a magazine whose name we won't say. But it seems like it's always those that get the most attention. I have a friend. I sent her. She's a big fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I sent her a copy I had of the issue of Action Comic Books where Neil deGrasse Tyson makes a cameo for her, and I gave it to her, and next thing I know, I got an email from her next day. It made it around the entire barracks because it's like comic book, please,
Oh yeah,
you're absolutely right.
They're bored.
They love it.
They're bored. Other than what I'm sure a lot of us have the utmost respect for what they do. It's the least we can do. And I know that, and I've heard some criticism that, you're a charity, but you give away comic books, not food or shelter. Yeah, but if you look at the back stock,
exactly.
Yeah, if you look at the back stock of so many stores, and if you look at the collections like mine,
exactly.
Someone can enjoy this, Justice League much better than it's sitting in a bag in my room.
And that's fantastic because, not to downplay any of them, any of the charities at all. I love and admire all of them, but there are so many charity organizations out there that are specifically for food, perishable items. Why not comic books? That's a necessity for some of those people to have that escapism,
Yeah, and it's a nice product to say, hey, kid, here's a couple issues of Superman. Oh, well, then this isn't the complete story, but my buddy has the other half of this story, and you learn social skills as well. There's just so much that can come out of this that I stumbled onto it. It was not planned. It wasn't thought out.
Some of the best ideas are like that.
Yeah, and I sat down and wrote out our mission statement, and a lot of that information is available at our website. Well, actually, not my website anymore. For some reason, it's gone down. We're trying to fix it. But at our Facebook page.
Oh, there you go.
It's Comic Book Connection Initiative. Just look us up on Facebook. Please become our friend. I'll try and update more often. Been having some health issues lately, but hopefully we're on the upswing of that. But yeah, man. So that is basically it. We raffle off comics that people donate. The donated ones are over here. I found that if I include things for our younger fans, they get more attention, and they have something that they would want. So occasionally I'll be walking through Walmart or Target or one of those big stores,
right.
See a box of crayons that says Batman on it, and oh, okay, you know, it's worth it. So so many people have helped us out and donated. I don't even know where to start. My good buddy Joe here is kind of my right-hand man in all this.
We know him.
He has filled in on more than one occasion for me. He went to the Pittsburgh Con for us. He has covered many items that I couldn't due to health. Amazing guy. I got to meet him first time we had an outing at Mid-Ohio. He and his girlfriend kept buying raffle tickets, and they kept winning. And so the grand prize, well, I didn't know him. I didn't know who this guy was. And he's like, hey, you want to see my sketches of Britt and Ivy? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take a look. It's pretty good. But the grand prize was a small sketchbook that my daughters went around to all the artists and had them sketch just a headshot or something, very brief, you know, and there was probably a good 30, 40 sketches in there, and his girlfriend won it. I don't think she shares it with him.
Well, we could, one more time, let our audience remind them of the Facebook page and check everything, because this is a fantastic idea. I love this. This is super great.
It's called Comic Book Connection Initiative, and we're stationed. We're based here in Columbus, Ohio. I've gotten to many cons in the region. If your viewers would like to help, the best thing to do is find people to donate to. We have thousands and thousands of comic books right now. We've got a pretty good stock. But if you can find people to donate to, that's even the best. If you would have to mail it in, I actually recommend that people find someplace local to donate it to, then pay for the shipping costs. I'm cheap. I hate dealing with money. You know, if I could get paid in comic books, I'd be all set.
Well, speaking of comic books, continuing our coverage of Free Comic Book Day 2013, we're here at Comic Town, and I have to do this. Dr. Fate.